The state of insecurity in Nigeria, a lot of people have been calling for the resignation of the service chiefs, and also coupled with the memo that got leaked, and that is the memo written by Babagana Mogunu, and it also showed the lackadaisical attitudes and also the unconstitutional behavior of Abakari, the chief of staff that has taken over the government of Major General Muhammadu Buhari retired. The House of Reps are calling for the resignation of service chiefs. The House of Representatives yesterday passed a vote of no confidence in the nation's service chiefs, asking them to resign their appointments with immediate effect. Also, the lawmakers urged the executive arm of the government to, as a matter of urgency, reorganize the entire security architecture of the country to reflect the existing realities. The House had about a month ago reached a resolution asking the top military brass to either resign or be sacked by Major General Muhammadu Buhari, the President of Nigeria, who appointed them. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion by Yusuf Buba from Adamawa State on the matters of urgent public importance on the need for the federal government to provide adequate security and relief of materials to parts of its constituency attacked by insurgents, and for the military to review its strategy in its campaign against terrorism. Buba's motion came on the heels of the recent attacks, including the burning of churches in Garkida community in Gombe, local government area of Adamawa State. He decried the rising insecurity that has continued to claim innocent lives and properties of the people. He said, "It is easy to recall that in the last few weeks, the Hahuno in Borno State and Garkida in Adamawa State suffered attacks, including others that were not reported, which have left the world asking questions that remain unanswered. These attacks coming ferociously after a time the insurgents were said to have been highly degraded, to say the least, have left our people in even more grave danger and have left our homes, business premises, places of worship, farms, and above all, lives at the mercy of the insurgents. If nothing urgent is done to increase the number of our soldiers by the way of massive recruitment, the number of our men in the theaters of conflict sadly will continue to decrease and their morale will drop considerably, while our nation may have a sad recourse to pre-2015. God forbid." Sakiada from Sokoto State, who contributed to the motion, said that the sorry situation should naturally invoke shame to the service chiefs and the NSA, who could not stop the attacks. Iyampa Zakaria from Michika Federal Constituency, Adamawa State, said that a more drastic action needed to be taken to arrest the attacks. He said, "This country is in danger. We know that there is insecurity and nothing has been done by the Nigerian army. If there is no security of lives and properties, we cannot be comfortable here. Mr. Speaker, we must find a way of solving this problem. Let's do something and let's do it urgently," he said. Ahmed Jahar from Borno State said that the service chiefs had completely run out of ideas. In his words, he said, "You must not live in your comfort zone while your constituents are dying. For how long shall we be repelling attacks in this country? My people voted for me under duress because they had been sending messages of attacks. These insurgents came in with 11 brand new Hilux vans. I called the security outfit. They said they were waiting for them to come so they could repel them. Gakida is less than 15 kilometers away from my constituency. You are waiting for them to come? How long shall we continue to repel?" Karu Simon Elisha from Balanga Federal Constituency of Gombe State backed the call for the service chiefs to resign. He said, "Even though Nigeria walks through the valley of death, I shall fear no evil. Mr. Speaker, these people burn churches, mosques, kill everyone. We are fighting the devil. We need a strategy that will tackle these terrorists. It is time to bring new ideas into the security." He said, "I join others to call for the resignation of all service chiefs. They have tried their best, but we need new hands. People are dying. It will get to a time we'll stand here and cry. These people are not producing results. We need other hands. We need a new strategy," he said. While adopting the motion, the House also called and asked the government to urgently commence mass recruitment of Nigerians into the military, even as they asked the National Emergency Management Agency and the Northeast Development Commission to send relief materials to the victims of the attacks in Garkida and Hauno. Also, yesterday, the House passed for a second reading the bill seeking an amendment to the 1999 Constitution in order to extend immunity to the presiding officers of the National Assembly. The presiding officers are President and Deputy President of the Senate and the Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. The bill, sponsored by Odebumi Olusegun, is for an act to alter Section 308 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to extend immunity to cover presiding officers of legislative institutions and for related matters. The bill scaled through second reading after several debates. Olusegun, APC Lagos, stated that the bill was intended to protect the institution of the legislatures from distraction caused by unnecessary legal actions against the presiding officers. Now, let's get back to the point. As you all know, that there is a specific amount of money that is allocated to states for security in Nigeria. And this money goes into billions of naira. Security vote, that's what it's called. This money, each of the states, they take different amount of money, but it is not limited to 200, 300 million naira every month. This money is unaccounted for by the governors. There is no governor that can actually show what that money is used for. So simply put, this money is pocketed by the governors of that state and the rest of the goons running the show. Lagos State, I think Lagos State get $1 billion or 2 point something billion, if I'm not too correct about that, every month or thereabout. They get a lot of money. Lagos State, I think, is one of the highest that gets that security vote. This money is unaccounted for. They swallow this money and there's no security in any of the states. So we need to begin to point this out before these groups of goons that sit down and call themselves representatives or legislators, even from the presidency down to whatever the governors, before they begin to speak and talk, we need to understand how the nation has been put to work, or rather put not to work. Now, when you look at all of this, you also see that the government pardoning Boko Haram terrorists and calling them repentant, and also giving them so much fanfare, pictures of them drinking juice, as if a terrorist in Sambisa Forest will repent because he needs to drink juice and take monthly allowance. I don't think that is enough incentive. What I believed would have been done is to be proactive by making sure they get rid of those Amajiri children on the street and give them a sense of belonging. But because there is no sense of belonging, no inclusion in the society, the system has been designed for certain groups of people to rob the nation. That is what Nigeria is designed for. Nigeria is not designed for the masses. Nigeria was a business center for the British monarchy as at that time. It has its plus and minus. And that is how the world worked back in those days. And it's the same way they did in Nigeria. They divided Africa. They cut out and amalgamated together. And they brought a system for the benefit of the British monarchy. And afterwards, when they gave independence, somehow we know there is new colonization where they indirectly control nations. But they left Nigeria. And Nigeria is what it is today. Nigeria is simply a contraption, a business center that is arranged and coordinated by the people that are the ones, making money out of the nation. That is why we have issues of terrorists that cannot be, done away with. If the government is proactive, this would have been solved. But because the government itself, we have terrorists amongst them, we have sponsors of terrorists among them. That is why this is so. And because of the red tape and the bureaucracy that surrounds this, and because of the saboteurs that are even in the military, people that are making money from this, insurgency, terrorist activities, that is why it is so difficult for these things to be sorted out. The Northerners are suffering. And this same is coming down to the middle belt. And we are seeing trickles of this in the south of Nigeria. Before you wake up one day, you'll be shocked that ISWAP and Boko Haram have already moved en masse and they have their branches situated in your town, in your state, in your villages, and they are oppressing just everyone that they can oppress. These people are getting stronger, and what these people can do is to sit down there and talk about how they call security officers and how they want to repel this and that. That's not the way forward. That's not the way forward at all. This is not the way forward. Some say Nigeria shouldn't break apart, and if Nigeria breaks apart, the human resources would be kind of segmented. It will be cut and all of that. But right now, things are not working. There is no way restructuring. In fact, restructuring cannot work for Nigeria at all, because everything has to be built from the scratch. The value system has to be dealt with. The mindset and certain cultural practices and what people have accepted inside of them. These are the things that needs to be looked into. This is a country where corruption is like a culture and a tradition. Just like I mentioned, the issue of the security vote, this amount of money that goes in there, with the money that these people collect, how then is it that terrorists come into their states? Now they mentioned how they need more Nigerians to join the military to go and die with the substandard weapons. I wonder why this House of Representatives, legislators cannot give themselves. After all, they are there to serve. Why they cannot join the army to go and fight Boko Haram? Why sit down there to talk? They should be the Nigerians. After all, they've benefited from that same Nigeria. They should be the Nigerians that will go in down there and die. We are talking about people that they claim got 11 brand new Elox. How did the 11 brand new Elox come into Nigeria? These are things that we need to start looking into. Because most of the times when you see the videos of these terrorists, you see them on brand new Elox with their weapons already structured and stated put on it. How did this Elox get into the country? How? Is it same from Libya? If it's from Libya, meaning they know where it's coming from. So how come there aren't any security outfit to combat and to block this transfer of weapons? It's a serious issue. So these are things to look into. It simply shows that things are not working. The president does not have a clue. The service chiefs, they are corrupt. They are running the show, acting like they do not understand what is happening. It's a terrible situation. So what's your own opinion about this? Let us know in the comment section. Do you have a solution to all of this? Drop it in the comment section. And if you're already a member of this channel, I say a very big thank you for the support. If you are not a member of this channel, let's grow it together by tapping on the subscription button and the red notification icon bell. It will alert you whenever our videos are uploaded.